Good morning, everybody. Well, welcome in Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Joining me today, this wonderful Saturday in October, I've got Dave Shimano from Slick Sticks and also our producer, Nikki Anderson, on the other
sun is
side.
shining and the birds are singing.
They are, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice outside.
It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, I love fall. I love fall, especially on the Central Coast.
Yeah, fall. What is it, 95 degrees going to be today or something?
Well, it was 41 yesterday morning in Paso, and then by the time when I was out on the golf course, it was 90.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was 4:30 and 5 in the afternoon, 90 degrees.
Yeah, but probably next week it'll be 30.
Think next week it'll be 30?
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Dave, you got a mic issue going?
Hello?
Yeah.
There we go.
You're live. I think you just had it kind of turned that way.
Could be. Anyway, we're fixed.
Well, we want
How's
to...
Billy?
He's hanging out. I was just going to go in there and say we wish Billy the best. He had his surgery on Tuesday. And so it sounds like it was a success.
That's
and,
good.
It sounds like Billy's being Billy. He's grumpy and can't sit still, even though they removed part of his back.
It's a pain in the neck.
And put a new, pain in the back, and put a new bone back there, and did some fusing and stuff. But the surgeons, I guess, said everything went really well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a painful one.
So now he's on the road to recovery. So when he'll be in here again, nobody really knows. Well,
Just when I got off the road to recovery, he got on it.
I know. I am not next in line.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
That's one I wouldn't wish on
Actually,
anybody.
if you look back at the timeline, I went first.
Yeah, you did. I agree with
Had
that.
my procedures, and then you decided to do yours, and then Billy didn't decide to have what happened to him happen to him. So I think we've gone our route.
We've done the whole circle.
We don't need to.
We're
do
done.
anymore. Dave did his.
Dave did his a long time ago. Yeah.
Long time ago.
They ran out of parts to work on.
I guess that means we're golfing Ireland next year.
I think we better. Time's going by fast. We got a great show today. We've got actually 3 different guests calling in. We've got Lane Ellison with Ergo.golf. It's the golf tool, the Swiss Army knife golf tool for golfers. And their product benefits prostate cancer research. And there's a real story behind the whole thing with Ergo.golf. So you guys can check that out before we do the interview here at 8:25. We'll do our loose impediments at 8:45. Clubbing with Dave at the top of the hour at 9. And then we have Brett Blakely calling in from Encore Golf. He was going to call a couple weeks ago, ran into a little snafu, so he's calling in. A very, I can't even say up-and-coming ball company. I think they're already established and they're off and running, so they've got some really cool products coming out and that have already come out. So we're going to have Brett call into the show. And then finally at 9:45, from 3 months ago, we started the Orange Whip Wedge contest. And for various reasons, we've kept pushing it back. There were different things happening when Billy and I couldn't be here. And then the folks at Orange Whip Products couldn't call in. And I said, let's just keep extending the entries. And a whole bunch of entries came in this last week.
Did I win?
No. Sorry.
You're ineligible.
Yes, you're ineligible, as are all of us in here.
Bummer.
So we'll draw the winner. And we'll have a representative from Orange Whip Wedge Products calling in to the show here at 9:45 to announce the winners. So those of you who entered, thank you very much. We're going to keep trying to do contests and stuff like that. People really enjoy it. And obviously, when it's free, how can you not enjoy it? No purchase necessary. So this last week was very interesting in the world, very crazy. Our hearts go out to those of you in Las Vegas. That was just horrifying, to say the least. And we wish everybody the best. And if there's any way you can help out however you can. There are a lot of different funds set up for the victims, for actually even the people who helped out a lot of the victims there. My sister lives in Las Vegas and was at a show a couple days earlier. And, it makes you really think how quickly things can just kind of turn,
I fell asleep with the TV on that night, and I woke up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and it was all over the news. And I was just laying there watching it, going, "My God, this is terrible." And then
Crazy.
Lois grabbed the remote and turned it off, and so I woke up in the morning. I go, "Was that a dream?"
Yeah.
It was just so bizarre. I was thinking that couldn't have been. I turned on the TV, and
Yeah.
that was just unbelievable.
Yeah. It is, and it's you know, it's I think unfortunately with the way the world's gone in the last whatever 10, 15 years, it's probably only going to get worse. There's just a lot of people out there that for whatever reason, they see an opportunity to do something like that because either they're crazy or they've got a purpose or whatever. But it will make things very interesting, I think, from an event perspective, whether it's concerts, whether it's a golf event, whether it's a baseball game, whether it's a football game. You know, I've always wondered, I mean, when you go to concerts and indoors, there's always metal detectors, there's always that stuff. But, you know, I mean, I've been alive 48 years. I've been to a lot of events. And sometimes even with those metal detectors and things and the searching and all that, they're not getting everything.
Oh, no.
And I know
We've snuck things in.
that's
before.
what I mean, you know. So I think that it's a very interesting time for America because of a lot of the things going on politically, but also just the idea of what America stands for and the freedoms we have to go and see these events and do these things. And now we've got a whole new thing coming into play now, you know, and it's scary. I mean, it's really scary. But as Americans, we need to be supporting our beliefs and our way of life and getting out and still going and attending these events and doing these things. And, you know, whether it's one person, whether it's a group of people, whatever it may be, you know, you still need to live your life and you still need to get out there and do these things. I mean,
Yeah, if you don't, they win.
yeah, that's exactly right.
So
That's exactly
I
right.
agree with you, Mike.
And, you know, I don't want to cover it too much more because I know it's everywhere. And for a lot of people, it's you know, it's just, they want to remember it and they want to help, but they want to keep moving forward in life too. So our best to everybody who has gone through that and is going through that and will continue to go through that for a long, long time. We wish the best for everybody. That being said, for our morning BM, I thought of something kind of interesting. We lost Tom Petty
Yeah.
earlier in the week, which
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when we were together,
We were playing a
was
bunch
the
of
Tom Petty show,
Isn't that funny?
which I thought was ironic. So I was thinking as I do a lot about the morning BM to, you know, change up. Well, that's what the morning BM is, just to do something other than golf. Not because we don't like golf, but it's nice to talk about other things. And I was remembering, I actually had forgotten about this. In 1981, I was all about maybe 11 years old, I think. Yeah, 11 years old, and it was MTV started, 80, 81. And they had contests. They would have contests on the TV, and they'd say, you could win this, and you can win that, you know, and you couldn't email it in. You had to actually send in a mailed entry. And so they had a contest.
in the days where there was mail
Yes.
and you would receive letters from people.
Yeah. I know. Amazing, huh? They had a contest, and all I remember it was for a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it was like a rock and roll jacket. It was albums. It was all this stuff. And it was just like, send your entry into da-da-da-da-da, right? So this is the first contest MTV ever had, ever. This is probably 2 weeks into on airtime that they've been on, maybe a week. So I thought, well, what the heck? I'm going to ask my mom. I'm going to send something in. So I did. I sent something in. And about, I think it was, you had about a month to enter. And I think it was about a month and a half later, a package arrived at my door. And
You're a wiener.
yes. And I opened it up, and there were 8 albums.
Wow.
And they were all, and I
Very cool.
still have them. They were radio station DJ marked albums. So, you know, not for resale. They got a little clip on the inside of them.
Yep.
And to me, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Oh,
'Cause I used to
yeah.
listen to the radio when I was a
Little
kid.
hole punched in the
yes.
corner?
Yeah,
Yep.
little hole punched in the corner. It's got a gold seal stamp on the corner.
That is so cool.
And so a lot of the stuff, that I won, I didn't know a lot of the music. I mean, I was a huge music fan even then, but I got Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I love rock and roll. I got Tom Petty, Hard Promises. I got Jefferson Starship.
Red Octopus.
Yeah. And I got, what else did I get? Heart.
You scored.
Yeah, and there was a couple more, but what was really, really cool about it is I knew of Tom Petty, but I didn't really know of him. I was really young. I didn't know who Tom Petty was, and I had seen the first video on MTV, which I think the first one they released was Refugee, and I saw that, and I always thought that was a really cool song. But anyway, when I got the Hard Promises is what they sent me for Tom Petty, which is like the waiting is the hardest part. That song, which is really popular. But the song that I loved on it, I absolutely, and to this day, I still love, really love the song. I was just going to play part of it. It's a song that's called The Night Watchman. So it has this really cool riff and the drums and I would sit in our living room. And of course, my parents had a huge.
Turn that down.
Yeah, they had a huge. Oh, you know how stereos in the '70s, huge, just completely oversized. You know, it's like a cabinet.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes up the whole wall.
Yeah.
Yes. So they had the 8-track tape in there. They had a phono player. My dad had a recording stuff, and he had a turntable. So I would play this, sit in the living room, and the way that the ceilings were configured, they were really high, and the walls would make the sound bounce. So I just blast this thing because of the drums and the slide guitar and all that stuff. And I listened to this album over and over and over and over. And so I started, when I would come home from school, I started just I put on an album when I got home from school, and I'd listen to a whole side of an album before I'd go either to baseball practice, football, or whatever.
You
and
had every little crack and pop memorized where they were.
Oh, totally. It was awesome. So it made me think. I was thinking about this on the way down when I was driving down, because I got about a half-hour drive down here. And I thought, these are what memories are pretty cool. You know, this is cool stuff that, I mean, they have these contests. We have contests. It's not quite the same. But I was off and running, introduced to a bunch of different music that I never would have listened to. I never would have.
And the next thing you know, you're raffling off an Orange Whip wedge.
I know. It's crazy.
I can totally see the connection.
But I remember Tom Petty's Moon Rising album, and that was when I was going to Cal Poly. When I got into Cal Poly, and that was a huge album, and love that. Full Moon Fever. It was everything. So like I guess the reason I'm bringing all this up is like I started thinking about Tom Petty songs, and you guys probably the same thing, and people listening out there. You've got certain songs that stick with you in your life for certain reasons, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, it's this when I was young, and then Full Moon Fever is my college. Like I left the Bay Area when that album came out. I just was like, I'm gone. I'm out of here. And I only had so much money in my pocket, and I came down here and I never left. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to me when I look back at Tom Petty and the forks in the road in my life, and Tom Petty is associated with that for me.
I had a real good friend who was a golf pro up in Sacramento, heck of a player, and he was also a singer. And every time
there's a lot of those guys.
Yeah, and he was a really good singer, and I wish I could do it. But every time he hit a big snap hook, he just sing out, belt it out as loud as he could. Break down.
I heard that song on the way down today.
Oh God, it was.
That's funny.
And I just look over and just laugh at him.
That is awesome. I heard that song on the way down. I turned on made a Pandora. Well, I already had a Pandora station for Tom Petty, so I turned it on, and the first song they played was Breakdown, but it was a live version. Oh, just awesome. So anyway,
when you hear it walking down the third fairway,
that's funny.
Uh-oh, Norm went left.
I gotta remember that.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah, that's really cool. But just want to say, thank you to Tom Petty. You're awesome, man. You'll never be forgotten. Your music is amazing. I'll play some more Tom Petty in and out of the show today, just because we want to.
And I think he went to the Bob Dylan School of Diction.
Yes, I agree. I think he did. So, with that being said, I don't know. We're gonna take our first break just because we've got interviews coming up. So we've got Lane Ellison coming on here in about 5 minutes. He's with Ergo.golf. It's a brand new product. It's like a Swiss Army knife for golfers. They have a Kickstarter campaign that they've started up, and we want you guys to stay tuned because he's got some really cool information to pass on to us, not only about Ergo.golf and their MV10 golf tool, but also how it actually helps with prostate cancer research. So you guys listen to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on ESPN Radio, brought to you by TaylorMade Golf. Check out the latest M1, M2 drivers, fairway woods, hybrids, and irons, and also the 790 irons are out, and a few other new irons. So check them out today at TaylorMadeGolf.com. We'll be right back right here on ESPN Radio.